for me, the biggest difference between the two teams was Aaron Gillane,
Yeah.
and we had a lovely view of it in the second half, especially for that goal. But like the forwards for Limerick, to be fair, didn't perform that great. I know Tom Morrissey got 3 points, and so did Dave Reedy, but they kind of came in spurts when really needed. For the first hour or so, Aaron was unbelievable. Now, it was a bit naive from Clare. We'll get to that, but how good was Aaron on Sunday?
I thought this was just a real standout performance from him when you needed it. I thought he was excellent. Just led the line. His movement, his showing for ball was just phenomenal. His first touch then when it was delivered into him was unbelievable. I thought it was a real, when you needed a guy to stand up. And in fairness to this team, every day somebody stands up, right? Be it Burns, be it Flanagan, whoever. But on a Munster final day, Gillane stood up really tall yesterday and shone bright. And look, he was on. I suppose he got a break where his old arch nemesis wasn't there with him, So it was a day where he had to come out then and show his worth. They've had some battles down through the years, so they have. So look, Aaron was probably delighted not to see him, because they've had some battles, and he does have a handle on him, to be fair. But Aaron, I'd say, was happy man not to see him trotting out to him on Sunday. But what a performance from him, yeah.
Yeah, and we'd get to the structure of the Clare defence. But I think even if Conor Cleary was there, he would have really struggled with Aaron, because everything stuck. And you know what, Aaron, he's brilliant touch and he's a great hand. But sometimes when a man is on you, drop those balls. But everything that went in stuck. Everything he shot went over, and he could have had a second goal. But even the way he took his goal, it was just a player at the apex, on Munster Final day. And I don't think there was any marking him, whatever he did.
Well, I thought he was sensational for the way Clare allowed it, though, Jack. Right, he was sensational, but I think there's a communication breakdown there where he's. I suppose, move on to it, but I think there's a communication breakdown there. Was Ciall Nolan calling his centre back when he saw all those big pockets of space in front of him? You have to be really vocal there when you're in a one-on-one situation, side in the full back line, that you have to protect yourself, protect your team by getting cover back into those pockets. And that wasn't happening. So is it a communication breakdown? Would Cleary allow himself to be caught in there one-on-one, ball after ball after ball? I don't think he would. And if Cleary was in there, allowed himself that kind of space, he'll get reddened as well. But I don't think he allows it, because he's cute enough, he's there long enough, he's vocal enough that he'd have support back, he'd have Conlon back, he'd have one of his halfbacks, probably Conlon, sitting a bit deeper, sitting in those pockets of space, cutting that supply line off a bit more. So I thought that was the real thing. And defending is huge. Communication in your defence is just massive. You take a big linchpin, your fullback, communicator, leader, out of it. You could see the cracks then developing. It wasn't just the one-on-one battle. It was what he, I suppose, orchestrates, how the defence rotate and all that.
Yeah, I think some of the narrative around Ciall Nolan is a bit unfair because of that. But did you think Clare decided we're going to press up on the Limerick half-forward line, and they kept them relatively quiet for a large period? Now, Dave really came into towards the end. Tom Morrissey got some big scores, but do you think they said we'll go man-on-man on Gillane and Flanagan, try and curtail the boys out the field, and it just kind of blew up in their face, really?
No, I think they did go do that, but I think Conlon was kind of caught in no man's land. He wasn't man-on-man, nor he wasn't, I suppose, sitting and protecting either. He was kind of caught in that, and it's a difficult position for a centre-back when you're being told to push up and you're leaving exposed and you're doing neither then for a finish. He wasn't protecting deep and he wasn't pushed up either, so he was kind of caught in that little bit of a no man's land. And that's fine, right? If a team isn't delivering perfect ball in, right, you will cut out 90% of it then. But the ball that was coming in was top class. And if you look at the goal even, right, it was Reedy, right, Conlon's man on the ball. Was it Conlon even after him at that time? That'll tell you the pocket of space that's sitting in front of Gillane when Reedy has the ball and you're just outside the 45 delivering a diagonal ball like that. You can't leave your fullback exposed in that situation. It just can't happen.
Yeah, far too exposed. Matt, firstly, on Aaron Gillane, you've seen a lot of great performances from this Limerick team. Where does his performance rank for you?
Oh, it ranks right up there with the best. I think on the day that Aaron Gillane was unplayable, irrespective of who he was marking, whether it was Cian Nolan. I think Conor Cleary would have had a difficulty the afternoon with Aaron Gillane. Even were he there, but I agree totally with Morrison about how Cian Nolan was exposed. But I would have, and I agree totally that I thought I would have seen more in terms of protection of a rookie from the like of John Conlon and David McInerney, because I can only just imagine, well, Limerick to bring somebody in out of the blue, left cornerback or right cornerback, how he would be protected from those around him. And that certainly didn't happen for Cian Nolan on Sunday because he was exposed so often. And we can talk all day about the merits of he being selected, and we can talk all day about the merits of he being left on or not for 50 minutes. But certainly, I think those around him, as Morris has rightly pointed out, have got to take a certain amount of responsibility, because as he has rightly pointed out, the pocket that was in front of him, the space that was there for Aaron Gillane, like to work in, basically it shouldn't be happening in a Munster final.
No, I don't
I'd say on the selection thing, Matt, and I wouldn't have I heard a little bit of a narrative that you have two cornerbacks there in 𝘕𝘰𝘦𝘭𝘴 and Flanagan to come into that role. But like, I would say that's picked on form, and you'd have to say credit to the Clare, I suppose, management team to pick on form. And yeah, it was a ball to come in. He was, yeah, but if you're showing form and training, you're entitled to your opportunity. Like, so I'd say fair enough. It's the communication and the fact that he was left one-on-one with the best forward in the country is the issue, So, and again, their two cornerbacks are great players, right? But Adam is his first year senior, isn't it? Like, so again, you can't expect leadership there. And Rory Hayes is probably his second or third year, like, so you're just cut for real experience in the full back line then.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making. The experience should have come from in front of him rather than beside him,
Yeah, but I think, it was very exposed, it was very open, there was lack of communication, but we have seen Aaron do this to the best players. We saw it against Hugh Lawler in 19 All-Ireland semi-final and the Highbar clash, or when he gets going, it's very hard to stop him. And then